You have already decided this before. This time I will handle it differently. I won't get affected like that again. I will finally follow through. And in that moment, you meant it. But when it actually mattered, you didn't do what you decided. You did what you have always done. Because in that moment, you didn't rise to your intention. You fell to your conditioning. Welcome to Regulate and Rise with Khyati Adlakha. We believe change comes from deciding better, clearer intentions, stronger commitments, better awareness. But life doesn't test your intentions, it reveals your patterns. And those patterns don't show up when you are calm, they show up when something is triggered. Let's look at this closely. You tell yourself, next time I will speak up. You have thought about it, you have even rehearsed it. But when the moment comes, in a meeting, in a conversation, in a situation where something doesn't feel right, you pause, you hesitate, and then you say nothing. Not because you don't know what to say, but because something in you has learned it's safer to stay quiet. So your intention says express, but your conditioning says stay silent. And in that moment, conditioning wins. You decide, I will begin today, not someday, not next week, today. You feel motivated, clear, ready, but as the day unfolds, you delay a little. You adjust your plan. You tell yourself, I will start properly tomorrow. And tomorrow becomes another tomorrow. Not because you don't care, but because something in you is wired to avoid the discomfort of beginning. So your intention says, start now, but your conditioning says, delay. And again, conditioning wins. You tell yourself, I will let things be. I won't overthink this. I will trust the process. But when things feel uncertain, you start checking again, rereading messages, re evaluating decisions, trying to make sure nothing goes wrong. Not because you want to control everything, but because something in you has learned uncertainty is not safe. So your intention says trust, but your conditioning says control. And once again, conditioning wins. And this is where most people get stuck. They think, I need more discipline, I need more clarity. But the problem is not your intention, it's what takes over when intention is tested. You don't become who you plan to be. You become who your pattern allow you to be. And those patterns are not random. They are learned, repeated, and deeply familiar. so familiar that they feel like who you are, but they are not. They are what you have adapted to. So the next time you find yourself doing something you didn't intend, pause, not to correct it immediately, but to notice what just took over, because that moment is not a failure, it's a window into your conditioning. And let me tell you, this is exactly what I see in my work. People who know what to do but can't do it in the moment that matters. Not because they lack awareness, but because their patterns are stronger than their intentions. And when we start looking at their handwriting, those patterns become visible, not as theory, but as something real. How they hold pressure, how they respond to uncertainty, where they hesitate, where they overcompensate. And once they can see it, something changes. Not instantly, but meaningfully. They don't fall the same way anymore because now they understand what was pulling them there. And once you understand, you don't fall the same way again. This is how we regulate, and this is how we rise.